This is Barbara with Tips for Teachers. Again, I would like for you to know that I was a teacher in public education for 47 years and learned a lot about the art of teaching, and I'd like to share that information with you. Do me a favor at the end and thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel, and you will be notified when I have additional YouTube videos out there. Now I want to talk about order, classroom order, also known as discipline. And order, classroom order is for the benefit of the students as well as the teacher. Now, years have shown me that it takes approximately 3 to 6 weeks to break a class in and have them follow routine in your classroom, okay? You establish the rules the first day. You give them seats the first day, assigned seats. You look around the classroom. When they come in, where they sit is usually where their friends are. So you distribute them in different parts of the classroom away from their friends, okay? Especially for 7th and 8th graders, which I taught over time. The juniors and seniors in high school are a little bit easier to deal with. Freshmen are a little bit afraid when they come, and they're not so bad to deal with in the beginning until the second semester. But sophomores can be very interesting to have to deal with. But this discipline works for whatever grade level you're dealing with. So the students love this discipline routine. They love order. Human beings love order. They may even object, but deep down inside, they like order. A lot of them come from environments where there may not be that much order all day long. So they like the comfort of being in classes where there's order and the teacher is in charge, okay? Now, you never give up your position as the one who is in charge. Okay, and they need to know that from the beginning. And I will say throughout all of my videos, you never play with your students. You keep your teacher position at all times. Don't joke with them, don't play with them, okay? Also, I let my students know that no one touches anyone in my classroom. You keep your hands to yourself, because that can lead to a lot of problems, okay? We never signify or talk about each other in a negative manner in class, nor do you bring up mothers and fathers and grandparents and cousins and all the family members, because that gets out of order too. So keep that in mind. Always stop that. Now, when they come in and they take their seats and everyone is directed toward me, then we can start to pass out the materials that they need for class. And I won't do any of that until I'm sure that they're ready to engage in learning. And if it's a class after lunch, there's special issues that come with that, because the students have eaten certain things that may make them a little hyper. And also, some of them are sluggish and sleepy. There are also things that could have happened at lunchtime that they bring into the classroom, and you have to kind of understand, if you have to engage them to calm them down in regard to what has happened during lunch, then take the time, because otherwise you will not be able to have good order in class, because it's going to keep coming up, because they will want to talk about it. So if there has been a lunchroom fight or something disruptive during lunch, let them kind of get it out of their system in a way and say, okay, we've had enough of that. You all calm down. It's time to get to work. All right, so then you start passing out things, taking attendance, and telling them what you want them to do. Remind them where they are on their work, and let them go forward, okay? Now, after you've done that, then you're gonna have about 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the period. The teacher is always watching the clock. Now, a lot of times the classroom may not have a working clock. Sometimes you may have to use a timer, or you may have to use your own watch, or whatever's necessary to keep up with the time. Because if you don't, then you will be left collecting all of this material after they've gone out the door, because you cannot hold them back and cause them to be late to the next teacher's class. So make sure you set aside enough time to collect materials. Now, students like to help. The majority of them, not all of them. Some students don't ever want to do anything where they have to walk around and collect anything from anybody. Some students want to clean up the whole entire classroom and will sweep if you let them. So you have to keep them calmed down too. So I always like to reward the students, and I have what I call bonus points, and I also have demerits, which will take some of your points. So I also establish a rule: no eating or chewing gum in my classroom. So if you do that, you're going to lose some points. I also establish rules for being tardy. If you're tardy, you're going to lose some points, or a point. If you're not prepared to work, if I tell you to bring notebook, paper, and a pencil for class, if you don't have those materials with you when you need them, you could lose some points. Now, I give points and I take points. Okay? So if you're doing things in a positive way, you have decided to take part in clean up when it's your classes, your time for you to do that. And I usually do it by numbers, starting with 1 and coming on down, or even starting at the bottom and coming on up as to who will have a job to do. And as time goes by, some students may volunteer if another student doesn't want to do it. Oh, I'll do it, Miss Guilbeaux. And I let them do it. They get extra points. Okay, now what do you do with these extra points? All right, you take those extra points and you add them to their grades, their points, total points at the end of the marking period. So a student who has extra points may be able to bump their grade up, and they love that. They love that because it's been a positive situation for them. Now, a student who has a lot of tardies or demerits, their grade may come down. You know, it depends. So you want positive reinforcement on for the students on whatever situation it is. So keep that in mind. But the final thing and the most important thing is to establish order at the beginning, which leads to good discipline. And that order should keep things going in a good way all the way to the end of the semester, the end of the marking period, whatever the situation may be. Now, say if the semester is 20 weeks, and on the 17th week, you might say you can let up a little bit. You can lay back a little bit and relax with your class, and you know them and they know you if there's a certain kind of class. And people may be able to move around a little bit easier, and it's not so much restriction all the time. They may be able to get up and go sharpen their pencil, but they always keep their hands to themselves. But in the beginning, you have them raise their hands for whatever it is they want to do. If they want to sharpen their pencil, raise your hand. You want to ask a question, raise your hand. If you want to answer a question, raise your hand. Okay? Now, some people might say, oh, this is so restrictive. No, it's not. It's school. And there should be order in school. There should be order in class. And I've had students come up to me at the end of the semester and say, ooh, Miss Guilbeaux, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this class. And I've also passed out surveys where they've said, and I'll ask questions about the routine of the class, the order in the class, the discipline in the class, the fairness. They may say, I have favorites. Maybe I do, but I try not to, but maybe I do. But anyway, I'm human. Make sure that you try to be as fair as you possibly can with everybody. Students who have difficulty, make sure you try to counsel them. Next thing, and this is the last thing, do not ever embarrass your student in front of the others. If there's a problem, don't go back and forth with a tete-a-tete with a young person, because there's no winners in that situation, okay? So if there's a problem, you ask them to step out of the classroom. You don't leave them out there by themselves. You take the door, you keep your hand behind holding the door, and you speak to them and say to them, now what's your problem today? And you engage in a little conversation. Do I need to contact your parents and work this out? Do I need to write up this situation and send it to the counselor or to the office? Okay. Now, remember, you can't send everybody to the office every day because the student's coming back to you. So you may as well settle the problem between you and the student and their parents, because the office cannot help you. Okay. Not to too much of a degree depending upon the problem, but I'll talk to you about that in another time. This is the end of this, but I want to make sure you remember that you must keep order. You must have discipline in order to teach. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Thumbs up, subscribe, and give me a comment.